I haven't been on the show for a couple seasons, so how are things going?
Not that long.
Wait, not this show. This show. This Calgary.
Oh, this show. This show.
These people who love you.
It's great. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for being here, paying attention to us.
Have you guys been to Calgary before? Or is
I came to Calgary by accident once.
That's how it usually happens.
I was on my way to Vancouver.
You got lost.
No, they sent me to Calgary. I had to go to like the milk room to get round. I discovered that the customs and immigration people at Calgary airport are very different than the ones in Vancouver. I came up there and I was like doing my usual sort of slick West Coast crap. And I sort of saunter up. And she goes, this diminutive lady behind the counter goes, "Where are you going?" I'm like, gonna go do a TV show in Vancouver. "Only if I let you in." Okay.
Has that been your main experience with Canadians or
Women in general? Actually, that quote would be absolutely perfect. It works.
So if I only let you in, it's
Only if I let you in is pretty common sense. Hell yes!
Hello! Woo!
I was in Calgary one night previously. I was going up to the Canadian Rockies and with my girlfriend. We flew into Edmonton. We got in. Everybody here is from Edmonton. That's exactly what we said when we landed. And we got in kind of, in the evening, and we decided it was like 9 p.m. and we decided, you know what, let's just head out tonight. So we hitchhiked from Edmonton, and this guy picks us up. And we get in the car, and we're on the highway. I don't know what highway it is, but it's a highway, long stretch of highway between Edmonton and Calgary.
It's like 1 or 2 or something.
Late at night. And the guy starts saying, you don't really want to, we were going to Banff, I guess. And he's like, you don't really want to go to Banff, do you? I've got a cabin way out in the woods. Why don't you come to my cabin with me? And it was a barren highway. There were no other cars passing in the other direction, and I became terrified. I was like, this guy is for sure, 100%, definitely going to kill us. And he kept going on. He was like, you wouldn't be the first couple that I brought to my cabin. And I was as terrified as I've ever been.
Did you say yes?
No, we were like, oh no, really? Have a lot of people who are expecting us. In fact, we need to get off as soon as we see the next gas station because there are people waiting for us there, trying to trick him into thinking that everyone knows that we're in his car already. And then it comes up for some reason that he has a colostomy bag strapped to his leg, which he shows me. And all of a sudden, all my fears evaporated. I was like, I can probably deal with this guy. So for some reason, that colostomy bag gave me great reassurance, and then he dropped us off ultimately in Calgary, and my dad came and picked us up.
Is that a true story? It sounds like a
Total
movie story.
100%.
He doesn't make this stuff up.
Make that up. I wouldn't lie.
I don't know if I believe
You should
that.
hear the stuff he makes up.
There would have been a unicorn in the story if I was making it up.
How about, Mitch, have you spent any time in Calgary, much time in Canada?
I did a pilot outside of Calgary. We stayed in Calgary, but now, did I say Calgary or Calgary?
Calgary.
Sorry, guys.
They're Canadian. You can say anything you want and be polite about it.
No, because I've got my brother-in-law. My wife is Canadian, and
Only if I let you in.
Canadian women are awesome. Only if they let you in.
That somebody thinks so. I'm like, this one here.
But I did a pilot here called The Mountain that we ended up shooting in Vancouver. It was about 7, 8 years ago, something like that. So I did spend some time here, and my brother-in-law was working in Canmore for a while, so I went to visit him, and it was cold. It was very cold, but it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we went to Banff and went to Lake Louise, and it was it's beautiful, beautiful country.
Cabin in the woods.
Cabin in the woods, colostomy bags. It's all there.
So Misha has told me stories about how he's been a victim of Jared and Jensen's shenanigans on set. Have you guys had that similar experience on the set of Supernatural?
It's a given. It's a given that you're going to be abused by those two if you do the show. I was sitting there when I think one of the last scenes before, when they killed me off for about the 20th time. They finally are, is he dead? Is he dead yet, please? But I was after I got electrocuted, and I was sitting there on the ground, and I was supposed to be acting dead, and my wife and daughter were on the set, and they got a real kick out of this. But Jared thought it was hugely funny to sit there and smack me in the back of the head with the electrical cord that I had been electrocuted by.
Do they think it's funny too?
They thought it was. Well, there you go. You got their sense of humor. But I mean, it's pretty much a constant with those two, and it makes it so much fun. Those guys are the best. They're so much fun to be around and work with, and they got. I'm sucking up. I'm trying to bring back Samuel for the 8th time. No, they're a lot of fun to work with.
Anything to add?
Are you talking to me now?
I'm talking, well, I hate Canadian women, so.
I love Canadian women. You got Trisha Helfer.
Yes, you do, Trisha.
Right.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Do they play with me and give me trouble? Yes. The big one shakes me at will. Picks me up and shakes me at will. Well, he's no better. He jammed a bag of honey in my face the other day. Trying to do a serious scene. At least they haven't got their foot in my crotch. It's weird, man. It's a weird show. It's a weird show because when you try to be really serious. I was sick, right? I was doing an episode that may or may not be on next week. Unless, of course, I'm dead, and who knows, anyway, whatever. And I was really ill. I had 103 fever and tonsillitis, and I had to go to the doctor on the way to the set. And they're like, "You need to go to bed." I'm like, "I need to go to set." So they couldn't give me the really good drugs, because then I would have just gone to sleep. So I'm waiting to be able to take the really good drugs to knock me out. And I'm sitting there in the freezing cold for an hour and a half, and comes up to my part, and I start doing my side, and Jensen just looks at me and goes, "Can we get somebody else to do the lines? I can't hear them." They're mean. They're mean to me. They're mean, but they're big. I mean, you know the little one? He's not little, he's big. It's not like he's not like, they're not all short, right? He's big, they're big. They just pick me up and shake me and push me and kick me and stuff. It's not fun.
So how does that atmosphere, and Misha, we touched on this earlier, differ from the set of 24 for you guys?
Oh, that's right, we all have that in common.
Rule on 20, is it a 24 panel now? How it was different, and it really was different. It was such an intense experience. We did so much so quickly, but everybody was really, really close. And when it ended, it was a shock to everybody. And then I didn't really get that feeling until I went to Battlestar, and then Battlestar has that same thing where everybody's in it together, fighting to get it done. And then you get to Supernatural, and you realize it's really hard to get everything done that we want to get done, and the boys just make it harder. But
Oh, they do.
It is.
Don't shake your head.
They do, because it's when you're doing something that's hard to do, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of intensity. The play is hard, but the fun is hard. You know, it has to be.
Recently, Jensen, you know those little gum packs, the blister pack of gum that, I don't know what it is, like Dentine Ice or something,
Yeah.
that come in those little sort of
Push out things. Right?
push out things. He took one of those and put it in the eyepiece of the camera with the sharp angled edge pointing inward. And the cameraman, poor Brad, was like, "All right, and stuck the thing in his eye. And it was like, oh. So literally, Jensen felt terrible and bought him a bottle of scotch, and his eye is okay. But it could have not been okay, you know. That's the kind of thing, like when you're poking out the cameraman's eye, you know you're sort of encumbering production a little bit.
Jared was bad about it.
Jared's supposed to be giving me off-camera dialogue.
I like
and
the
he's busy adjusting the camera.
Oh yeah, well he also Brad suffers more than any of us, but Brad will be behind the camera. And when you're doing off-camera dialogue, this is very technical, and I don't expect you to understand it, but it just means the other guy that you're not seeing talking at a given point. They stand right next to the camera, so that your eye line is taken toward the camera. And that means you're right next to Brad, the cameraman a lot of time, which means that Jared is right next to Brad, which means that Brad is suffering. For instance, one of the things that he loves to do to pass the time while he's doing off-camera dialogue
Changes gears.
is, change the focus, obviously, or take a pair of tweezers and pull out Brad's ear hair.
He put his ear hair out, and his nose hair with a pair of pliers.
And Brad is holding the camera, so he can't move, and he can't even laugh, and he can't fight back, and he's completely defenseless. He's like a tiny baby rabbit. And that's when Jared likes to kick you, when you can't fight back. And of course, it's very difficult to do your on-camera performance.
So you're trying to be serious.
When you're watching Brad be tortured like that, because all you want to do is laugh. It's kind of funny.
So when you see the gag reel is full of our reactions to what they're doing behind the camera.
I love the gag reels. Oh my
You
god.
got it too.
Mitch, has this been your experience? How does that compare to X-Files?
Well, fortunately, when the crew that we had on, the crew that they got on Supernatural, most of them were the same crew that we had on the X-Files, which was for me just such a luxury. They're big. And Jared especially is like, I'm in pretty good shape. I stay in pretty good shape. So I have, my wife and daughter were on the set. They came up from LA to visit, and I had some blood on my shirt, so I had to change shirts. So I took my shirt off on the set, and my wife goes, "Oh, you look good." And she goes, "Let's get Jared in here and have him take his shirt off. See how good you look." And I was like, "God, I hate you."
Have you ever wondered where they get their ideas for fan fiction? You just nailed it.
You just the shipping thread for this one is going to be forever.
It's like, I tell you, it's like I was leaving the set one day with my wife and daughter, and Jared comes walking off the set, at the sound stage. He's got a shirt on, and as he's walking towards the car, and my wife and my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, he just takes his shirt, he just goes, and just rips it off, and the guy is ripped. I mean, he's just, it's like, and I said, I hate you. I hate you so much.
17 years old. That's funny.
Exactly, really, it's like, but it makes it so much fun, because a lot of times it can be tedious, and they keep such a great sense of humor about what they're doing, and I mean, we had a little bit of that on the X-Files. The X-Files was definitely more serious. I mean, David would get goofy every once in a while, and I would follow suit, but it's yeah, you got these two guys who just love to have a great time. And it makes those long days bearable.
Fantastic. I think you guys probably have some questions for these guys. What do you think? No?
Didn't they ask them?
That was piss poor. You guys want to ask questions? Thank you. So where's our mic runners? Yeah. Oh, you guys didn't stop that.
Can I cut off the question for 1 second? This your story just reminded me of something else. I don't remember what I was going to grab something out of Jensen's trailer, and I went and knocked on the door. We have this, it's sort of, you just knock and then you open the door. And I knocked and I opened the door, and Jared and Jensen and Sebastian were in there. I totally forgot about this. And Sebastian was standing there like this, with Jared's ripped t-shirt in his hand, and Jensen and Sebastian had their shirts ripped off as well. And I walked in and they all went. It was an amazing moment.
Did you get a picture?
I didn't get a picture, unfortunately, because I would have retired by now, had I. I could have made a mint off
You gotta be quick, man. You gotta be quick with that stuff.
But it was really funny because they were kind of like, what? Nothing. This is normal. This is fine. Normal. Right? This is what we do.
There's a lot of artists here. I'm pretty sure that picture that wasn't taken is going to resurface sometime in the next few weeks on the internet somewhere. All right, go for it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Hi. I love the show. I'm sure that everybody who's here does. Just me. So my question, your characters are so complex, as you know, and I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, stop it up, Mr. Crawley, whatever.
This is what you telling me about Canadian women?
I'll tell you a
Sorry,
story.
go on, please don't hit me.
I'm too far away. So, how do you prepare for a character that's so complex, especially, I mean, when you have to do so many different things with the same character? How do you do that? How do you walk into it fresh? What do you do?
Think about the paycheck. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
I play the same thing over and over again anyway.
I spent most of my time on the show playing, especially when Samuel came back, trying to figure out how I came back and why I was there. You know, other than trying, you know, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out that character and what I was doing. But as far as making those transitions, it's just you know what we do. And hopefully it's successful, you know, and sometimes it's not, and hopefully it usually is.